famous Kreutzer Sonata has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the violinist Rudolf Kreutzer. It was actually written for one of the great black violin virtuosos of the 18th century, George Bridgetower. Bridgetower started his career as a child prodigy in London, where he was very successful and known by the fanciful name, the African Prince. His patrons were many among the aristocracy, including the Prince of Wales. When he was in his early 20s, he decided to expand his career by going off to Germany and Austria to play concerts. He was introduced to Beethoven, and Beethoven was so impressed with his playing that he immediately decided to write a sonata for him. He already had one movement completed. This was a leftover movement that he had originally written for his Sonata Number 6, which was also in A major, but it turned out that that movement was too intense for the gentle Sonata Number 6, so he set it aside and wrote a different last movement. So he had one movement ready, and all he needed to do was write a first and second movement to go with, and he'd have a sonata. Well, the concert date was set, and a week before the concert, Beethoven had to finish the first and second movements. A few days before, he was still working on them. The day before, still wasn't done. Bridgetower, as you can imagine, must have been getting pretty frustrated at this point. Finally, at 4:30 in the morning, Beethoven finished the first and second movements. Well, he quickly handed the music to the copyist so the copyist could write out the separate violin part. The copyist worked frantically, but the concert was at 8 a.m., which I guess that was a normal concert time in those days. Thank goodness it's not that way anymore. But anyway, in 3.5 hours of working as fast as he could, the copyist had only finished the first movement. So Bridgetower could play the first and third movements off of his own part, but when it came for the second movement, he had to actually go over, stand by the piano, and look over Beethoven's shoulder and read the violin line off of the piano part. Well, not only did he succeed in doing this, but he did it so brilliantly that the audience loved the concert so much that they actually applauded the second movement and wouldn't stop applauding until Beethoven and Bridgetower repeated the whole thing before going on to the third movement. Well, the concert was a great success, and Beethoven dedicated the sonata to Bridgetower. However, as the rumor has it, Beethoven and Bridgetower had a fight over a girl. And so Beethoven withdrew the dedication to Bridgetower. This is a true story. He had to dedicate the sonata to someone, and Kreutzer was one of the most famous French violinists at the time, so he put Kreutzer's name on there. Ironically, Kreutzer never even ever played the Kreutzer Sonata because he thought it was too hard. So Kreutzer's name will live on forever, and we've forgotten about poor Bridgetower. So the moral of the story is, don't ever have a fight with a composer. You'll definitely regret it. So actually, Bridgetower, as all violinists did at that time, was a composer himself. Unfortunately, all of his works have been lost. So the only record that we have of his playing is this Sonata, Number 9 by Beethoven. And he must have been a completely amazing violinist because this sonata is the most difficult that Beethoven wrote. And he obviously wrote it with Bridgetower's playing in mind. And to think that Bridgetower played it at 8 in the morning looking over Beethoven's shoulder. So here is Beethoven's so-called